So for the US dollar for this week, we do still have a bullish outlook on the outset for the dollar, although this pullback is taking place. If the news does come in this week as is expected, the dollar should continue up, but we are not guessing for this pair. So what we're doing for this one is we're just taking the trades as they come. As far as for this trade right now, this pullback coming back to the 61.8 for the Fibonacci retracement. So if that level is either because as the price came back, it came back almost exactly to that area for this month, the month of September. And so with that, we're going to keep our eye out to see if it continues to hold this area or if that area does indeed break. Because the beautiful part about this trade idea is that this trade idea is still up for the last week, although it is down for this week. And so this would be a pullback very similar to the pullback that we experienced about 3 weeks ago when the dollar pulled back, and then immediately after the dollar pulling back, then that's when the dollar ended up shooting right back up and even to newer highs. This one looks to be doing the same thing, but this is absolutely dependent upon what that news comes out as with the CPI numbers, as well as those inflation numbers as well. So that's going to affect all of our US pairs. And so that including the UC idea. So again, that UC idea pulling back, sitting right there at the 100 period moving average on the 4-hour chart. And so that's taking place because of the fact that going into the news that is weak. And so this one is down for this week, it's down for the last week, and it's down for the week prior. So this one is down for all 3 weeks. So this for the UC idea is looking pretty bearish because of the fact that there is no news that is being reported this week for the Canadian dollar, which is why earlier I alerted everyone to the fact that there could be bullishness that is seen in the CJ idea. And the reason there being because of the fact that there is no news being reported at all. So that was something that we talked about on the call this morning, as far as there being potential bullishness there for the CJ idea because of the fact that the Canadian dollar is not reporting any news at all this week. So for the GU idea, it is above. And one of the things that I pointed out today as well is that for this pair, this is now is working on the 6 candle, and so technically this last one did end up dropping below as far as close below and push right back above. And so with that, there would have been 6 consecutive candles in a row, but we did get 4 consecutive candles in a row closing above that 20 period moving average. But alongside of that, we now have the price still pushing back, still battling back there. We talked about earlier on the call that this could easily come back down to its weekly open if it does indeed break down from this major quarter area here at 125. And so that's going to be the test there, especially with the news being reported for the pound. So they have their employment numbers coming out tomorrow. And so that's something that was alerted there inside of the group. Those employment numbers coming out tomorrow, both of them expecting to be bearish. So as far as a greater number of people that are unemployed there, as well as their unemployment rate going up. So both of those numbers being bearish, we are expecting a pullback on this one. If this one does indeed is able to, for whatever reason, hold this 125 area, then that is going to be something that is going to be important to watch as this could curl up. But if it does not hold that, then we are looking at bearishness for the pound. And again, we see this bearishness here for the pound as it continues to just flush. And so for this idea, I shared also inside of the Discord that for this one, these are consecutive closes. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 consecutive closes below the 200 period moving average on the 4-hour chart. This is continued bearishness with more bearish news. So this is a bearish technical setup that is being paired with the bearishness of the idea. And so this one is looking to continue to go down. But the reason why I didn't alert any prices to buy this one at is because of the fact that the risk reward would not be there for this idea at this point unless there was an absolute flush in price because of the fact that, again, it did wick up. So you have to factor that wick in for the idea, and then it'll only give you about 2 to 1 or 1 to 2 risk reward ratio for the trade idea. So the GJ currently, with where the price sits, again, absolute bearishness for the idea as far as technical setup, but it doesn't present an opportunity to actually enter into that trade idea. Also for the EU, what I talked to everyone about today is the fact that for the EU idea, we were talking bullish about this because of the fact that it is getting these consecutive closes above the 20 MA. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 consecutive closes above the 20 MA. And again, it is resting right here at this major quarter area, and it is up for the week. And so this is signs of something that for a counter trend, if it is able to continue to hold these areas with neutral news only being reported this week. So for this week, for the euro on Thursday, it's just neutral news. So numbers coming in exactly as they are expected for the deposit facility rate as well as the ECB interest rate decision. So for both of those, neutral news. And so with that, we are expecting for this one to continue to linger above this 20 period moving average. And then anywhere down in this area is a buy, taking it up to looking forward to that next major quarter area on a bounce, potentially with no bearish news being reported as well as new bullish news being reported. And so same sort of a setup here as far as for the EJ. So for the EJ, what we're looking at is, can it hold this major quarter area? So it did make it up here to this major quarter area. With it being up here at this major quarter area, it is going to be super important for it to be able to hold this area and then continue to be able to push up. With it being able to do that, this would be bullish going into that neutral news, because either this trade could just kind of go back up to these areas as far as go back to its weekly open. Again, there are about 3 weeks that are around this same area. And so with that, it's going to be a very important area to watch as far as for the euro. For the AU, this is a very, as far as for the AU, it was a very bullish day for the Australian dollar because of the news that we talked about coming in as far as for this morning on the Monday morning meeting. And now we're getting some nice consolidation here, being above its 50 and its 20, but below its 200 and its 100. This could end up being something that is a potentially nice sell-off, depending on what that U.S. news is, as far as once the report comes out for the dollar. Are we going to be strengthening the dollar, or are we going to be weakening the dollar, according to what the Fed's position is? And so awaiting that news, there is currently no full knowledge of which direction it is going to go, but it does set up a nice shorting opportunity, which is something that we talk about over inside of Discord pretty frequently, which is that kind of when you get on the AU, NU, AJ, NJ, those opportunities, once you get those very nice bounces that take place, they usually happen at the top of the week. On those bounces, those are usually very nice shorting opportunities because they'll pop up early in the week and then kind of fade for the rest of the week and then kind of drop going into the weekend. So you see that there for the AU, and then you see this complete sideways action. Again, not presenting any opportunities here. Weekly open just continues to wick above the weekly open, but continues to drop right back down. No opportunities there for the AJ. And then for the New Zealand dollar, what we have here is we have, again, signs of bearishness, with it being below the 200 and the 100, both of them trending down, although it is currently above both the 20 and the 50. The better setup is the setup that is going to the downside. So taking the trade on a breakdown down to those lows, which are slightly past the weekly open for the NU idea. But again, with those, as far as for the NU and for the NJ, those ideas do typically move a lot, like sideways a lot. So you really just want to take the meat of the trade. And so that's what I'll alert is the meat of the trade, the middle of the idea, not getting, trying to be the first one in or the last one out, but just getting what the trade gives you and getting out of that trade idea. And so that's what we have for this week. Yeah, please let me know if you have any questions at all.